For this video, I show you how to make about 6.5 meters of bias tape from a 40 by 40 centimeter square of fabric. I'll also show you a special technique for joining the fabric pieces together to create one continuous, endless strip of bias tape. In my previous videos, I showed you how to cut strips of your desired width on the bias of the fabric and use them to make bias tape. The problem is that these strips are limited by the size of the fabric you are working with. But what if you need a very long continuous length of bias tape? This technique allows you to create one continuous strip in any length you need. To get started, you'll need a square of fabric in any size you like. I'm using a 40 by 40 centimeter square, but you can use a square in any size you prefer. After cutting the square, mark the diagonal from one corner to the opposite corner and cut along the diagonal. I've cut the diagonal. Now place this side over the other side and sew along this seam. I've sewn this seam and now I'm going to press it. After pressing the seam, turn the fabric over. This is the wrong side of the fabric with the seam facing up. Now I'm going to mark lines based on twice the width of the bias tape I want to make. I want my finished bias tape to be 1.2 centimeters wide, so the strips I make on the fabric need to be twice that width, which is approximately 2.5 centimeters. So I'll mark the fabric at 2.5 centimeter intervals all the way across. Once I've marked all the sections, turn the fabric over so the right side is facing you. Now fold these corners as you can see in the video. Make sure the lines are perfectly aligned with each other, just as you can see here. Now comes the important part. You'll notice these rows next to each other. I'm going to move this row up by one row. I'll mark this section in red so you can clearly see what I'm doing. I'm going to move this part up by one row like this. Now, even though I've shifted the fabric up by one row, all the lines are still aligned. Next, I'm going to join these two edges together. First, I'll pin them in place and then sew them with the sewing machine. After sewing, the lines should line up again like this, as you can see. Now I'm going to press the seam again. Since I used the heat erasable pen to mark all the lines, I don't want to place the iron directly on the fabric because the lines may disappear. So I'm using a tailor's ham. I'll place only the seam on the tailor's ham and press just the seam with the tip of the iron. If any of the lines disappear, I can simply redraw them afterward. At this stage, I'm going to start at one corner and cut along all the lines, one after another, until I have one continuous extra long strip of bias tape. I need to cut this part off because it's too narrow and will be discarded. At this stage, I'm going to use a bias tape maker to turn this strip into bias tape. I explained how to use the bias tape maker in detail in my previous videos, so you can check those out. I'll leave the links in the description. I'll turn the entire strip into bias tape, and finally you can wrap it around a piece of cardboard to keep it neat and organized. So from a 40 by 40 cm square of fabric, I was able to make about 6.5 meters of bias tape.